every single year. Um, and I would say one last thing in terms of biggest challenge is, I would say also people leading teams. I think we have an incredible, powerful, awesome team. But yeah, like how do we then, as a challenge, like mobilize everyone together to then get to our mission and goal. And I would say again, like we have a great team. I think it's always just like, you know, leadership and learning how to be a leader and an effective leader is also challenging.
Thank you, Natalie. All right, next panelist, Lucian. We have not met, but I think she has the most awesome title I've ever heard of. She's the mom in chief of her company. So, Lucian, maybe you could tell us a little bit about Baby Grubs.
Thank you very much, Frank. Hello, everyone. Hi, Natalie, Olajumoke. Your story was really interesting. Thank you for sharing. And I want to say big congratulations to everyone who is graduating today. You have done so much work and you deserve to enjoy. Sorry, my baby's calling my attention. Okay. At Baby Grubs is a complimentary food company, and we're based in Lagos, Nigeria. Part of what we do is to provide complimentary meals, and we also provide services for mothers of the children. The core of what we do is to provide meals that address the prevalent nutritional deficiencies, known deficiencies of the Nigerian child. And we have even expanded into Ghana. We have expanded into the United Kingdom. Bulk of what we do also is to empower women in the sales of these meals. And so we have an exclusive distribution system that empowers women for financial inclusion and also, you know, to be gender sensitive as well. Baby Grubs is an 8-year-old company, and to date, we have helped transform the nutritional status of over 200,000 children in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
And why did you become an entrepreneur?
So it was accidental. It all started when I had my son. I actually studied computer science, but when I had my son and I had to go back to work, I introduced infant formula to my son, but he wouldn't take it. I bought 1 thing, 2 things, up to 5th thing, I think now, but he refused everything. And so I panicked. And, you know, I started doing a lot of research and I realized that there were so many things that I could feed him. The first thing was that I had conflicting information online. You know, there was no source. There was nowhere to go to get information on how to feed my son. Most of what I saw were things from Baby Center in the US, things from Canada, you know, Western European countries, and there was no local content. There was no made in Nigerian baby food on the store shelves. And I was wondering, why aren't we feeding our children? We are the most populous nation in Africa, Black nation in the world, actually. So why are we not feeding our children? Why is there nobody talking about what to do? I just got angry. And I decided that I was going to do something about it. And that was how I started Baby Grubs. And it has grown in leaps and bounds.
It reminds me of a woman I worked with in the program. She's from Botswana, and she too she had her child and was very concerned about what was available to feed the child. And she began a liquid yogurt company in her, you know, on her property. That was made from natural ingredients only. She was tired of only going to the store and looking and finding sugary drinks, and particularly drinks that are being imported, you know, outside of Africa. So, and I know that her journey also was the big milestone for her was when she could quit her regular job and just go to, you know, the manufacture of this yogurt full time. So it's, you know, both of you and actually all 3 of you have this passion around doing good, which is great. Yeah. It's a good basis for, you know, getting into your own business. So our next panelist is Ari Winkleman. Ari and I met while he was a student at Drexel University. we knew right away that Ari was a special guy, and he was going to be an entrepreneur, and our predictions were absolutely correct. So, Ari, thanks again for joining, and please share your story with everyone.
Yeah, Frank, thanks for having me. And congratulations to all the graduates, and certainly extremely inspirational to hear the stories of such great entrepreneurs on this panel. I think Frank's view of me at Drexel as an eventual entrepreneur was one that I couldn't see myself very early on. I only realized later in life that I was an entrepreneur by default. I was very lucky in that entrepreneurship was in my blood. My parents run a publishing business. And on my dad's side of the family, my dad's family had a lumber yard in Philadelphia. And on my mom's side of the family, my great grandfather came to the United States from Europe with a nickel in his pocket. And when he died, he owned, we have a very famous, I'm in New York, we have a very famous baseball team called the Yankees. When he died, he owned all of the parking garages around Yankee Stadium. And I grew up hearing the stories about how my grandma would park the cars of the famous Yankee baseball players. I didn't realize until later in life how formative hearing those stories was. When I was a student in high school, I was very interested in music. And I also really liked the idea of making money. And so I became a DJ. And I ended up having a DJ business. And by the time I graduated from high school, I had 30 other people working for me, and we were playing all kinds of events. That sort of pointed me on a path, not, I thought, of entrepreneurship, but just of making money. I later realized that money is kind of a proxy for value. In business, the way you drive success is if you can create value for your customer. And I realized that that's really what I wanted to do, find problems and solve them through entrepreneurship. At Drexel University, I was very lucky to have the support of Frank and many others who saw in me what I couldn't see in myself. And very early on as a student, I wanted to get involved in all of the activities and all of the events that were happening across campus. But there was no way, there was no place to find them. And these were in the very early days of platforms like Facebook, where you could find people, but you couldn't find activities. So I ended up building myself a small website where people could post events that were happening on their campus. And we started at Drexel University. And by the time I graduated Drexel, I had actually raised some venture capital to fund this idea. And I thought I was going to take this idea that I had, how can you find events happening around you, at that point through an app that I had built. I thought I was going to take that idea and expand it into every city in the world to help people find activities that would help them to grow and align with their interests. But what ended up happening was I started down the road of building this product, which became a product called Involvio. And Involvio grew from campus to campus to campus, just like we had launched this event finder app at Drexel University, grew to hundreds of campuses, in fact. And as we were expanding to these campuses, we started hearing from the administrators, the professors, the deans on these campuses that they wanted access to the analytics behind the events. They wanted to know which students were interested in which events. And we said, well, why? This is not the idea we had. The idea we had was, let's connect students to events and then grow into cities to connect people to events. The administrators, the deans, the professors on these campuses said, our students are dropping out. They're not finishing their programs. And if you can tell us which students are most engaged, which students are most interested in events, we can predict which students need help so that we can get them that help so they can complete their programs. And we conducted what in entrepreneurship is called a pivot. Maybe you're headed in this direction, but you realize the opportunity is actually over here. So instead of becoming, we thought, like the next Facebook, except instead of for finding people for events, we actually became an education technology platform and started selling to colleges and universities. And that was the big opportunity for us. And by that point, we were, I think, maybe about 30 people. We had operations in the US, Australia, Singapore, and India. And we happened to be raising money As is the case, and all of the entrepreneurs on the panel, I know identify with this. Sometimes to grow your business, you need capital. So we're raising money, and we happen to meet investors from a very large technology company called Cisco. And Cisco, it turned out, was well aligned with the new path we were going on. They had a number of products they were already selling into colleges and universities who we were selling our products to. So we found an opportunity to integrate our product, what became basically the official app for the college. It grew to be more than just events. We integrated our product with theirs. They had video technology. So we put video technology inside of what was our app, Involvio, and we allowed for students to get help from professors and advisors via video in our app. And now this seems obvious because everything is happening over video, but then nothing was happening over video. This was in 2018, 2019. And so that was quite novel. And Cisco took our products and started reselling them all around the world to colleges and universities all around the world. And the relationship grew so close that a couple of months ago, Cisco actually acquired our business. And so now I am the head of education for the Cisco collaboration business. And not only am I looking after student engagement and student retention solutions, but I'm also responsible for aligning things like phone systems and phones and video devices, and even connecting our networking and security technologies back to student outcomes in education. So for me, entrepreneurship was kind of a path that allowed me to solve a number of problems. And my biggest learning was your business is not about solving one problem. It's about solving a million problems along the way. Every day you'll face a new problem. And your ability to succeed is really tied to your ability to keep your eyes open and keep going.
Wow, Ari, thank you. Very inspirational. But, as I listen to all four of you, it is about the passion. It is about the resilience. It's about solving problems and the satisfaction you get. I mean, my background is completely opposite of what yours is. I worked for large corporations, a big educational institution. And I think part of this for me is just listening to you and your confidence in yourself to go out on your own and do this. And so, I admire all four of you for, the path that you've chosen. We're now going to open this up to some questions for the people who are on, the participants, the graduates. You have an opportunity to ask any four of the panelists any question that you want. This is your opportunity. One of the wonderful things about a program like this is that you have a built-in network now. All the graduates, it's from now on, you can rely on them to talk about issues that come up, ask for advice. And this is something here that you have this opportunity now for the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. And Toyin, I'm going to ask you to continue to keep track of the time. Are there any, anyone can ask questions, as Toyin has said. And so, anything come up, ask in the chat if you want, or if the panelists have a question, you can ask each other.
Hi, Professor Frank. I saw somebody actually raise her hand, Clementina. I think she has a question. She's one of our coaches.
Okay, great.
Yes,
Hi,
I do. Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how much this means. So my question is for Sheung. Baby girls, I have heard about you, I have read about you, and I'm happy to be talking to you. So my question is, how were you able to push baby girls, basically push the vision of baby girls globally, to a global stage, right? Because I know I am the founder of a nonprofit that's focused on nutrition as well. And for infant feeding and complementary feeding, there's a lot of traditional innuendos. There's a lot of do this, the grandmothers say that, and family-based, we don't do this, we don't give our children that. How were you able to transcend all of that such that Baby Grubs is a household name right now? I would like to hear how you did that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clementina, for the accolades, the kind words. So for me, when I started, I was very intentional about publicity. And one of the things that I did was to map out all of the stakeholders in the Nigerian health and nutrition space. And I made it a goal to say that in 2 years, whenever or wherever there's a meeting on health or nutrition, there must be somebody who has heard about Baby Grubs on the table or at that meeting. So it was very intentional for me. And so one of the things that I did was, after mapping out all of the stakeholders, I made sure that I started connecting with them at different levels, engaging with them at different levels. And talking about the brand and the innuendos about traditional and all of that, one of the things that we also did for the first 2-3 years was to do a lot of advocacy. And to do this advocacy too, we were very intentional. We had to partner with a lot of motherhood blogs, motherhood groups, and then we started teaching and training and telling people, debunking myths and all of that. And so that was very intentional. And then for the international exposure, I would say, yes, we were intentional, but also God was a big factor in that too. The branding was intentional, our language, how we communicate, we're speaking, we're not boxing ourselves to say that we're a Lagos business or we're a Nigerian business. We're speaking global language, African language, things that anybody anywhere in the world can connect with. And so those were some of the things that I did to help me really achieve that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sheil. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheil. Thank you so much, Sheil. What you said about being intentional, I have to attest to that. I have to attest to that about Baby Grubs. One of the things that really connected me to Baby Grubs was how intentional you were. I saw it across the branding. Like you said, Professor Frank was saying that when he was about to introduce that, she was the only one that had a very interesting title. Whenever you see Mom in Chief, it gets your attention. Like, who is that? She's not a CEO, she's a Mom in Chief. You can see how intentionally she has really branded. There's no way in the world that you had that you're a Mom in Chief. You're a mom, you connect with it. That's not, even if you're an African mom, you're an Asian mom, it doesn't matter. Thank you so much. I think we have a question in
there is a question in the chat from Achu. She's from Cameroon. And as you can see, she wants to know, have any of you felt at any time about quitting? Obviously there are times in which things are not going very well, and you just want to walk out of your home office or your space and say, that's it. So tell us a little bit about that. Have you experienced that?
I'd be glad to take that
Okay.
one. I would say through the evolution of my business, maybe every hour of every day, I faced a huge problem. And if that's not your experience, then you're asleep. So for me, yes, I felt like, wow, can I really get to the next level? Can I really keep going? Is this really what I want to be spending my time on? Or did I make a horrible decision? Like, am I doing the wrong thing? But what I realized was quitting wasn't an option. I had to succeed at all costs. Because I had employees relying on me, investors relying on me, and most importantly, customers and users relying on me. I couldn't walk away from essentially the trust that I had formed. And I had signed up for this. I'd asked people to believe in me, and they did. Now, that's very different from realizing you made a bad decision with one particular part of your business and realizing you have to switch directions and undo it or do something else. You can't have blinders on. You can't say, you have to understand, diminishing returns and sunk cost. But I would say for me, yes, I wanted to quit all the time, but knew it wasn't an option.
Moki, I saw you smiling, nodding your head. How about you? What has your experience been?
Yeah, for me, I think there are times I felt like quitting several times. I could actually relate with there was a time I actually I kind of sourced for fun from friends and family. And I actually got the money, but then at the end of the day, I looked at myself, I was like, is it worth it? Like, do I really want to continue with this? Because by the time I looked at everything I wanted to do and the money available to me, and I realized that if I should set it up, it means I'm setting up for another level, which to scale through to that level, will be another challenge on its own. So the thing is, for every milestone I've tried to reach, there has been discouragements. Questions like, do I really want to go this far? Like, do I really want to do this? But like Harry said, when you think about your customers, when you think about people that believes in you, you just have to continue going. I have support systems. My husband, there are times when I would want to give up. I would just tell myself, I'm not doing this again. He will look at me and he will just smile, because he knows the next day I'm up again. I'm doing this thing. So because the thing is, the feeling will always come. It will always come. But once you sleep and wake up again and you remember the reason why you started in the first place, you keep going. The discouragement will always come. But sometimes you don't have to wait for external motivation as well. You have to be sure you are into what you really want to do. Because that inner motivation, the passion, it's like a fire burning inside of you. You can't really do anything without it. Because when you sleep and wake up the next day, you will find yourself doing that very thing you feel like not doing again. Right. So that's just it.
Right. Especially when you have this kind of a superordinate goal of doing good, right? And looking at social issues, that tends to drive people, to continue to drive people, and do some extraordinary things. Natalie, how about you?
Yeah, no, this is a really, really great question. And I think just echoing what everyone is saying, I think as an entrepreneur, the most amazing, exciting, horrifying, challenging part of it is that you can have one day, and in the morning, it's like you have the best news ever. Maybe you want a grant or something. And then 1 hour later, you have really, really bad news and something happens. And then 2 hours later, you have really good news again. And I think it, is a very interesting experience. And I think I guess like this is actually what both of you guys are saying, but what I always try to go back to is two things. The first is, and this is something that my mentor once told me, is not getting too attached to the highs and not getting too attached to the lows. So when things happen, rather than going up and down with the waves, just kind of be calm, be still. And, if you win something, great, obviously I'm very grateful, but I'm not going to be all the way high, so then I don't just come crashing down. But the second is, and this is something that when I feel burnt out, I always go back to, I have two things that I always remember. What is my why? So why am I doing this work? And then also, what is my North Star? What ultimately am I working towards? And so with those things, when I feel burnt out, I just go back to that, whether it's I've written it down and just reading again, rewriting it, or talking it out loud to someone I trust. Just going back to that really helps me ground myself when there are challenging times.
Great. There is another question, and that is, how did you get over the fear of even starting your business? The fear of failure. Then when you began your business, Baby Grubs, you must have had some questions whether it was going to be successful or not, but yet you made the decision to start it. How did you get over that potential fear that you felt?
Okay, so for me, I didn't have any fear. I just knew it. That gut feeling, I knew that this was it. And interestingly, when I went to business school and I told them my idea, this is novel in Nigeria. We pioneered this in Nigeria. And then I explained to the lecturers that I want to feed babies, and they mentioned Ogi. I said, no, not Ogi. Baby food, like actual food. what do you mean? And they kept telling me this won't work. This is dead on arrival. Don't even try it. And so what I did was, at business school, we were mandated to do our business plan. We had 2 weeks to write it. And so I wrote 2 business plans. The one I submitted because they weren't buying into my idea, and the one for the business idea that I knew I wanted to do. But the truth is, at different stages of the business, there will be fears, especially when you are taking major steps, bold steps. I'll give you a very good example is we had to increase our prices by almost 40% recently. And was I afraid? I was very scared, but I did it anyway, because I knew that being a leader, one of the things you have to do is to take the hard decisions. Do it afraid. It's okay if you're afraid, just do it anyway. One of the things that you should do is weigh your pros and cons and then be very objective. If you can be very objective about your business, go ahead and take the decisions. Go ahead and do it, even though you're scared. And being scared is a really good feeling, you know. That is how I know I'm doing the right thing. If I'm not scared, it means it's not big enough, or it's not it's not what it is. And so fear is something that is part of, you know, what we're doing as being an entrepreneur. It's something that you feel more often than not. Starting the business, that's just the child's play part of it. Over the course of your business, you take so many hard decisions that will make you really scared, that will make you afraid, but then you still go ahead and do it.
Yeah, Natalie or Ari, you want to add anything? I mean, obviously this was a big step for you, and you know, what got you over that initial apprehension?
For me, starting Involvio, I didn't think it was the right time. I started Involvio as a senior in college, and at Drexel University, every year is a very special program. Every year you do 6 months of school and then 6 months of work, and 6 months of school and 6 months of work. And going into my last 6 months of work, I asked a family friend if he could help me find an internship for those 6 months. And this guy is like very famous entrepreneur, sold his business to Yahoo, and now has become like a big, like one of the most famous like marketing guys. And I said to him, here are the companies I'm interested in working at. I know you have connections to this one, this one, this one. He said, Ari, it's time for you to stop like looking for internships and time for you to just do your thing. Like you need to just start something. And I realized he was right. So for me, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see that it was time. But I felt I had no, you know, everything in the world was right. Social platforms were growing, the internet was growing, venture funding was becoming more and more available. And the big thing I would say for me about fear or lack thereof was I was in college. I had no commitments. I had no children. I still have no children. But you know, when you're in the business, if you start the business before you have children or other commitments, it's very difficult to bring them on in your life. But for me, I had nothing to fear. I had nothing to lose, and only things to gain. So I was at a unique point in my life, when I started.
Natalie?
Yeah, I think similar to Ari, because I started this when I was a sophomore, so second year in college. I also felt like I didn't have as much to lose because I was in school. So I was still doing everything that I was doing and then doing this on the side. And so for me, it was just like, I knew I wanted to do this and that was it. And there wasn't any other kind of thoughts. It was just, I want to do this. And so, yeah, I don't know if that was as good of an answer, but that's basically what.
No, I mean, you know, based on your experience. So we're coming up to the end. Glory, do you put in the chat that you may have a question? If not, we will kind of wrap this up. Toyin says I need to stop in about 2 minutes, so we're in good.
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for this session. It's been very inspiring and encouraging. Okay, my question is to Mr. Ari. How were you able to pull, you said something about having about 30 people work for you, and it's one of my major um, challenge right now, how to get a workable team, whereby we can work together. Okay, in this at this stage of my business, I need people. Fine, I have people around, but how to get people to see the vision and be willing and ready to work with you. So how were you able to pull such crowd of people in such a very short time and all that? So that's my first question. Another question I want to ask is okay, should I ask now or
So why don't we
have,
let Ari answer this question?
Okay,
And
that's
because it's a good question about how do you get people to work for you, especially in
Yeah.
a small company, because you don't have a lot of money to pay 'em.
exactly.
Mhm.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No, no business is successful without people. A business is just people, and you can't do everything yourself. There are inevitably things that you're good at and things that you are horrible at. You should not do the things that you're horrible at because it won't be done well. But sometimes you need to. For me, it's actually was really difficult. Hiring is really hard, especially as Frank said, when you don't have a lot of money or any money. So the big thing really is you need to find people who are aligned with you from a quality of work perspective. Working in a startup or an entrepreneurial venture at any stage is really hard, extremely demanding, very different than a normal job. You need people who will roll up their sleeves and take things on that are outside of their normal scope. So number one is you need to be able to clearly define the vision of your business. Why do you exist? What kind of change will you have in your community? What kind of change might you have in the world? That is number one. If people align with your vision, from there, you can identify if they're a fit for your business and if you're a fit for them. You need to understand what is it that someone wants to do in their life? Where are they trying to go? What skills do they need to develop? How are they trying to grow? And if you really feel that you can provide the right kind of opportunity to people to grow in your team, then you've got a fit. And then you can sell not just the vision, the big grand plan of your business, but you can also sell the personal opportunity that someone can take advantage of by joining you. But you should not be scared. I will say this is going to sound terrible, and I'd be curious if everyone on the panel agrees or disagrees, but my philosophy was always hire slow and fire fast. The last thing you want to do is hire the wrong person or keep someone around who you're not going to be the right fit for, that you can't provide value for.
Any other ideas about hiring? I mean, it's with small companies. So we hire slow, fire fast, move on. Yeah, and it's difficult, especially letting people go who have, you feel have bought into your vision, but they're just not working out. It's not a good fit. And it's taking that personal relationship out of the employee-employer relationship, because you are the employer after all. There was one more question in the chat, and that is around funding again. You probably have very well crafted business plans. Some of you have been on pitches for either kind of formal, venture capitalists or banks. But it can be frustrating for you. There's not a lot of capital available because especially when you're just starting. People look, investors are going to look for past revenue because they can project that into future revenue. But when you don't have, the history yet, it's difficult. How did you handle, especially, seeing this was all directed towards you in particular, you've grown, you've expanded, and you've been able to get, tell us about some of the failures that you had when you asked for money and what you learned from them.
Is this for me?
Yes. You raised some money in the past, and tell us about your experience.
Okay. So I would like to say, first and foremost, don't be afraid to grow slowly. Even though it's always good to grow fast, but don't be afraid to grow slowly. Baby Grubs looks like it's big, but we grew really slowly. And we bootstrapped. My capital actually came from my first customer. So what I did was I did an advert. I posted it online. It was in the days of BlackBerry. I did a broadcast and say, this is our menu, order for your baby food, and it will be ready in 4 or 5 days and we'll deliver to you. So pay into our account, but your meals will be ready on this day. And so my first customer paid 5,000 naira, and that was what was my seed capital, actually. So you need to think out of the box, and that was one of the things that I did. So you can raise money from your family and friends and from your customers. I still raise money from my customers. I raise money from my distributors. And so the women that we work with, whenever we need to do something major, we pull funds from them. You can do this. Another way that you can raise money is also by selling other skills that are related to your business. And so Baby Grubs is known mostly for selling baby food and maybe consultancy. We also do training. We have a robust social media presence. We do influencer marketing. We have clubs where people pay to become members. So you can explore so many other multiple revenue streams from just one thing that you do. We have close to 10 other sources of revenues into the business. And that's another way that we raise money and capital to keep the business running. One other key thing that you can do, which something that do, is look for grants, competitions. You can definitely enter into so many competitions, so many grants. I know it can be time consuming. So you have to be very strategic about the grants that you apply for. Look for things that are really, really niched into what you do. And those are ways that you can definitely raise money without going through the traditional banks and all of that.
Okay, that's great. I love the idea of using your customers as potential funders and investors in your company. It's also, I will just, my own idea is that just be careful about giving any equity quickly in your company, allowing other people to share in ownership, because that can get very complicated. And one of the reasons you got into this is to have control over the decision making, and once you lose that control, it's a whole different organization. So I think, unfortunately, we are just about out of time. Okay, well, Gloria, I'll take one more, and that's it. Gloria just sent this in, so I'm going to, how do you revisit potential clients who didn't buy your product? And do you go back to them ever? And are there times in which it's a good time for them to buy? So, for example, with Baby Grubs, obviously, if you don't have a baby, you don't. But when you have a baby, you can come back as a potential customer. But some people, there may not be, when you approach them, it may not be the right time to purchase or to use your service. Do you see clients or potential clients who said no at one time to you? Do you ever see them, you ever go back to them and ask again?
Oh yes, we do this all the time. We still do it today. It's very, very important part of our sales process. Even if for someone who has turned you down, we make more sales even from those people that we revisit, actually. They appreciate the fact that, oh, you still have my data, you still connect and all of that. Yes, definitely revisit them. And then you can share stories about people who have been using the products for a number of years. So you on our social media, you see stories about people who say, my first child, my second child, my third child is now taking the food. And then you show stories of children who were fed on the food and they are now adults and all of that. Definitely you need to revisit them. If there's whatever objection they had in the past, you can have a dialogue and see how can I make it right. You know, it also shows your character as a company as being responsive. So definitely, yes, do revisit.
Ari, once again, you're nodding your head. Do you ever go back to previous people who said no to you?
Oh, yeah. I agree completely. You have to. I mean, there are a million reasons why someone may not have purchased your product or service. Maybe they didn't have the money at the time. Maybe there was a detractor. Someone in, if you're selling to someone a consumer product, maybe the husband wanted to buy it and the wife didn't, but now something has changed. Or a business customer. Maybe there's someone working who has a relationship with your competitor, so they're undermining your sale. That person may have left the company, so now you have an in again. I agree completely. Very important to constantly be in front of everyone. I mean, your prospects are your earliest are your gold mine for sales, because they already are familiar with your product. They're already familiar with your brand. Do not take it personally if someone doesn't buy your product the first time they hear about it.
And this goes the same for potential investors as well. I mean, an investor may say no, but strategically, this isn't their area that they want to, channel their funds into. But a year from now, 6 months from now, it may be completely different. And just because you got to know at one point doesn't necessarily mean that they will never become an investor. I'm afraid we are out of time. Does anyone want? How about some last words of wisdom from each of you, and then we'll wrap this up.
Sorry, please. I dropped the question in the question box. So
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Esther? Okay, so, okay, maybe we'll go to that question and then we'll finish up. So this is a question about people who come up to you and say, hey, I want to invest in your business. Should you be skeptical or not? You haven't approached them, they've approached you. Is that a red flag, or is that something that, you should look into and take advantage of?
I would say if someone just shows up offering you money, that's 80-20, 80% super weird, 20% it might be amazing.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is build a qualification process and identify what kind of investor makes sense for you. Can this investor add value? Can they bring you new customers? Can they help you develop a better product? Have they done it before? The same way that investors qualify their investments. Does this company have previous revenues? Can I back the founder? Will the founder be successful? You need to do that same analysis. Not all money, our money here in the US is green. So we say not all, yes, all money is green, but it's not. So evaluate potential investors very carefully.
Especially outside the US, all money is not green, right? Okay, well, first I want to, on behalf of everyone, on behalf of the One Foundation, if I may, Toyin, I want to thank our panelists today. It's been amazing. We could spend hours just talking about other topics, succession planning for your business, what your ultimate goal is, your exit strategy, how to create, leverage for the capital that you have, how to add more capital, acquisitions, mergers, those types of things. But, I think in looking and hearing the discussion today, it really is about passion, care, and it's about good business sense. And so it's really, it's been amazing for me. And I've learned a lot as well. So thank you all. Give you a clap and Toyin, send this back to you then.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been such an amazing session. I'm sure that everyone has learned a lot. I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot just hearing some of these stories of how there are just so many things I've learned today. And one of my team members was sharing that what Natalie even said is not just for businesses, it's a life arc. Learning how not to get attached to the highs and the lows. It's something that you can use for your entire life, no matter where you are. It creates a sense of stability for you, because life is full of vicissitude. And the most important thing is that you are stable. It's not even just the successes or the failures, it's the stability. And that's just one of the many things that I've learned here today. Thank you so much, Ari. Thank you so much, Natalie. Thank you so much, Sheon. Thank you so much, Olajumoke. Thank you so much, Dr. Frank. It's been an honor hosting you. This has been such an incredible time. So we have a little more time, and we are going to be then talking about our students. I'm going to be handing over to our head coach, who is going to be having, so the way our courses run is such that we put them in small. Oh, that reminds me, I said I was going to say something. Professor Frank. So Olajumoke Adedeji is actually an AWEC Cohort 3 fellow. I just do that connection. Okay. Yeah, she's and Sheon Shongoleye was a 2016 Mandela Washington Fellow. I know you are connected to both programs through some of your works.
Yeah, the Mandela Foundation, actually, we hosted Mandela Fellows. And I also will put a plug in for AWEC. If any of your students would, are interested, just go online, African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative. It's an amazing program. It's a year-long program for fledgling and established entrepreneurs, not only in Africa, but in diaspora as well.
Yeah. AWEC is actually a really, really amazing. And I'm sure that the application is going to be opening also in January. We're going to be sharing some of our communities though.
Okay.
So if you subscribe to our email, you are probably going to get to know about. We're going to share about. I'm always happy to recommend people for the African Entrepreneur and the AWEC, because I myself have been a part of it, and I can tell you for free that this is amazing. It's amazing. Even as a non-profit working with businesses, it changed my game. So I can. Oh my God, Sheon is. Oh my God, yes, Sheon is both. And I'm so sorry. To think that I met you in AWEC. She's both AWEC. She was in my cohort. We came to Tanzania together. She was in Tanzania with us, Professor Frank.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Wow. Well, it's there's so much going on in Africa, especially for women entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurship in general. I think the message from the embassy, the ambassador. I mean, he said it right. I mean, the business growth is in small and medium-sized businesses. It's not in these large corporations any longer.
Thank you. I can see Professor Frank has dropped his email in the chat box. Trust me, Professor Frank is really accessible. I'm always really grateful for his support, and I'm glad that he has extended that accessibility to you guys. If some of the panelists also want to, maybe drop their Instagram handle, social media, whatever works for them, which other people on the in the audience can reach out to them, it will be amazing. So I was saying that the way we run our course is kind of similar to the way I work on in time of we do these peer group systems, these small peer group systems, where we have somebody who is like, we call it a coach, we call it a one coach, who is like their support system. And so we want to have each of those coaches just, do a shout out to their students who are officially graduating today. Our BP Cohort 4 is graduating today. I'm going to be turning over to our head coach, Prince Paul. Are you there? Hi, Prince Paul. Are you there? Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone.
You have about 5 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So it appears that during the course of this meeting, some of our coaches logged out. So I'll just call those that are around to give a shout out to their students. Might be due to the network. I'll try to reach out to them. So the coach of Group 1 is around. Clementina, please, could you give a shout out to your students?
Hello, everyone. I'm back. So, Group 1, I'm just going to say congratulations. I had so many students who started with us, and halfway through, different things happened and they were calling me, oh, I can't go on. I don't think I can finish this. And guys, we pulled through. You're graduating. Congratulations. So you've learned so much. Don't throw it away. Everything you've learned is useful, it's important. Keep it close and practice, practice, practice. And this community that you've had access to, don't be a stranger. Communicate, send emails, chat people up, communicate, connect with each other on LinkedIn and grow. That's the whole point of this program. So thank you so much for making it easy for me to be your coach, and definitely we'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Clementina. Olamide Oje, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, so congratulations to Group 4. You guys are amazing, actually. And I think Group 4 is the best, the best group I've worked with in the BEP program so far. And what I would just like to say is that business is like a game of snake and ladder, and the BEP course is just one way to kind of have more ladders than snakes. So I wish us all a very amazing journey in entrepreneurial life. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So Pelumi just log back in. Pelumi, could you do a shout out to your students?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Shout out to all my students in Group 2, Mr. David Olorungbonmi, Mr. Olayinka Kifa, Ms. Damilala Lawa, Mr. Jabez Bawa, Miss Ayuba Prey Majors. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Thank you for every step of the way. A lot of you, even though you got tired at the point, thank you for still pulling through. It's been an amazing journey and I enjoyed being your coach. Thank you so much. And I wish you success on your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, thank you so much, Pelumi. The 3 other coaches were not able to log back in. Yeah, so on behalf of the academy and also on behalf of your coaches, I want to say thank you so much to you students. At least I've been a very good observer, and I've had times where a lot of students will just, I know the coach system, sometimes some peer groups, like some peer group coaches will make a student a maybe class leader for the week, and sometimes some of them get to chat me up to ensure I'm actively engaged on their peer group, but I just end up telling them that, oh, sorry, yeah, I'm your peer group, but I'm just there as an observer. So I've seen the good work you guys do, and I'm grateful that you really put in the best you could for the course. And I believe it has been a blessing and it has been a value addition process for you. Thank you so much. And I'm talking on behalf of Tolulope Mapai. I'm talking on behalf of Bennett Oina and who else again? They are Esther Ali. So coaches, groups 3, groups 4, and group 6. Groups 3, group 5, and group 6. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our head coach. You have been doing an amazing job. And so now to wrap up, this is the part we don't usually tell our students, but we usually have an award at the end of every we always have an award for best students in every peer group at the end of every course, at every graduation. We usually don't tell the students so that they won't know. So all the things you've been doing from the beginning of the course, we're watching, and then we always have an award. Okay, so I'll quickly run through the award, and that's after that we're going to be closing. Give me a minute, let me share my screen from here. All right, please let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. We can see your screen.
So, yeah, okay, coming. For some reason, this thing is not, what happened? Okay, let me go from here. I think it might be better to go from here. Yeah, so we're going to be going to the best students in group 1. Please, unless I see like action, drum rolls or something, I'm not going to tell you who is the best student in group 1. So group 1 people, where are you guys? Where are you guys? Best, your the best student in peer group 1 is okay. Now I don't even know where I'm going to go again. I'm so sorry. Actually, we have 2 best students in group 1. We have Olajiga and Ke. Oh, interesting. They are twins.
Yes, they're twins.
Amazing. Both of them. This is this kind of synergy I like. Both of them are carrying themselves hand in hand. Amazing. I didn't even realize they were twins. It was when I was about to call their names I realized they were twins. Congratulations to you guys. We're so proud of your commitment to your growth. Well done. Okay, to group 2. Our best student in group 2 is 2 people too, Olayinka Duro-Kifa and David Olorungbohunmi. We actually do this best student award based on how committed you are to the course through all of the program. We know that it can be actually quite taxing, all of the assignments, live session, peer session, all of those things. But I'm sure that you guys, you were better for it. So here are our best students for group 2. We have Olayinka and David. Congratulations, guys. We're so proud of you. Then to group 3, we have Oluwajomiloju Oladipo. I think I saw Jomiloju on this call already today. I already saw his name in the chat. Jomiloju, congratulations. We're so proud of your work. We're proud of your business. We're proud of the commitment that you have put into this. Well done. Okay, I hate that I'm rushing this, but I'm looking at time. I know I like to do a lot of drama in this situation, but I have to rush now. Best students in group 4 is Deborah Oni, as in the picture already said, is speaking to me, as in so fine, so pretty. My God, Deborah Oni, congratulations! We're so proud of you. Well done. Congratulations to you. Well done, Deborah. And then to group 5, which is second to the last group, we have, I hope I'm pronouncing this well. Please help me. If I don't pronounce it, forgive me. Obeneme Wilson. Well done, Wilson. We're so proud of your work. We're so proud of your commitment to your own growth. Well done. And then to the last but not the least group, we have best student in peer group 6. Best student in peer group 6 is Chigozie Chukuma. Even me, I can confirm this. You know how I know I can confirm this was? I remember that we had the opportunity to host the US consulate's people, and Chigozie sat me down. He sat me down for like 45 extra minutes, where he was sharing the things he wants to do in his business. And you will just see that, my God, this guy is really passionate about this. He really wants to do this. Well done, Chigozie. We're so proud of you. So congratulations to everybody. Congratulations to all of the BP Cohort 4 members. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your journey. Thank you for believing in yourself enough to want to do this. Thank you so very much. So thank you, everybody. This has been such a beautiful session. I know that I still have to go back to really think about all of the things that we've shared here today. Is amazing. It's amazing. And the beautiful thing about this is that we are on Facebook. And this video right now is on Facebook. So it's something that you can always go back to yourself. I'm just going to share the link to our Facebook page, and you can always find the video there if you want to go back to it yourself. You just want to remember some of the things that these guys have said and all of that. If you really just want to go back to those things, you say, I think I've shared the link to our Facebook group, so you can always go back to it. Thank you so much for everyone that we hosted. I think I saw one of our board members, Vincent, right now. Thank you so much, Vincent, for coming. Thank you so much. That's one of our board members. I didn't know you was going to be able to make it. Thank you so much.
Hey, hi everybody. Name is Vincent. Nice to meet you guys. Definitely excited for everything that the team is doing in One Foundation, and and then for who was the best student overall?
So we have not decided that. You have a gift for the person.
I have a gift for the best student overall.
Amazing. Wow. Okay. Head coach, you have assignments to do. Please decide who is the final best student, and we're going to reach out to Vincent. Thank you so much.
So thank you guys.
And thank you. Thank you so much. So, head coach and academic director, please, you have an assignment. You have to give us who is the final best student, who is the overall best student, so that we can reach out to Vincent and he can share his gift. Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So please,
Yes,
please
ma'am.
as I can't wait what that gift is going to be. If a whole board member is giving you a gift, like, hey God, please, are you sure I'm not the best student like this? You people, principal, are you sure? Are you sure I'm not the best student? Think very well.
You're not a
You
student,
passed that
ma.
stage already.
Wait, you're not see. Are you sure I'm not the best student like this?
I think we can do from BP cohort 1 until cohort 4, so I can come out.
Well, this is the cohort. No, we can't do that. It has to be from this cohort. It has to be one of the out of. So you look at the 6 and the 8 best students, and please use all of the criteria that we use to decide who is the final best student. We just like to do best student per cohort, because we just want everybody to have at least a feel of what it means to be best student in their own cohort. But now that we have a gift for the final cohort, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. I think principal, I saw that you said that Dr. Olajuwon is in. Dr. Olajuwon, one of our board members, is he still here?
No, he has left. I realized he has gone. I think
As one of our board members. So these are the people who are like our own powerhouse, the people who we run to when we need to make plans and all of that. And we are see, this work is not being done alone. You can see the number of people that are involved in even just one course, even just one course, the number of people involved. We have the academic director, and because the truth is, every single thing we do it so detailed that it involves a lot of hands. It involves a lot of that. So and this is my opportunity to say thank you to every coach. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is something you do from your heart, basic volunteering. We are so thankful for the work you do. I know it's always amazing when most of our coaches are actually previous students. I think all of our coaches are previous students. And it's always amazing to have previous students come back to want to volunteer with us, to want to give back to the people that are coming behind them. It's always so amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Bennett. Thank you, Clementina. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you. I'm trying to remember the names I've not mentioned. I'm so sorry.
Pelumi Adeosun.
Oh my God, Pelumi has been working with us since BEP Cohort 2. She was in BEP Cohort 1. She started working with us since BEP Cohort 2. Thank you so much, Pelumi. And congratulations on finishing your exam and becoming the final graduate today. I think I saw your pictures. Congratulations on that too. Thank you so much to all of the coaches. Thank you, Olamide Oje. Thank you so much. Olamide Oje as I know he worked with us in ESA, worked with us in BEP. Thank you so very much. And thank you to the head coach, who was also a past student. It was a student in cohort 1, and that's principal, the person's voice you have been hearing. Says thank you so much for your commitment to this work. Thank you for always carrying it on your head. Thank you. My assistant academic director is going to be pained that he's not here today, but he's not here because of situation that are beyond his control. And at least you will have the video to watch. And to my one academic director, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for believing in this video from the time when it was nothing, from the time when it sounded like a stupid thought. And here we have today about, just a little bit above 3 years later. Thank you so much for your work. So everybody on the team who is here and who is not here, thank you so much. To the executive team, to every volunteer, thank you so much. We have made 2021 amazing together. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like 2021 has been amazing on so many levels. Thank you so much for your commitment. Thank you so much to all of the students. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for joining. Even if you are not a student in this cohort, you have been a student in the past, or you have done any of our programs, we run another program like we shared in the video. Thank you so much for believing in our vision. Thank you for trusting us with your own vision too. Thank you so very much. And this is the point where we're going to be saying good night to everyone. Thank you so much. So we're going to be ending with a bit of music before we go. Please connect with people. If you see a name that looks familiar, you can send them an inbox and just say hello. This is the whole point. Trust me, these are the connections that you want.